Diagnostics and Repair, reporting live from Times Square. Letting you guys know we're thinking about y'all. Any automotive concerns, repairs that you may need, feel free to give us a call at 919-539-7265 or stop by the shop at 816 South 3rd Street, Smithfield, North Carolina. Y'all have a nice day. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Encore Automotive Diagnostics and Repair. And on this episode, we installed the engine in the 2019 Kia Soul. You will see the transmission and engine come out the bottom and the various components exchanged and taken out. Subframe, which is a simple axle sub, not a perimeter subframe. You will see the spindle, the axle. You'll see the engine and transmission be removed from this vehicle. Kia has something going on with their engines. They had something going on with their engines where they're failing at an unusual, alarming rate. This is a Generation 2 vehicle. I like it. I don't think it was a very difficult job at all. I think it was time consuming, but it wasn't difficult. Now is a perfect time to grab your cell phone and comment, subscribe, or just share our post. We do appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and we're out of here. We're disconnecting the battery. Want to de-energize the vehicle, drain the fluids. That way you can ensure that the job can be done as safe and clean as possible. I really wasn't a fan of using any type of power tools on battery terminals. Just not really, you're not in real control when you're pressing the button working on it. You're not really sure how much force you're applying. So it's a potential that you could strip out one of those components. But the more I got comfortable with using power tools and pneumatic tools, I sort of changed my mind because speed is important, but accuracy is. Alright, that's 11. The post for 10. And you want to get everything out so you can get a good optic of what you're dealing with. After you remove the battery, get the air horn out the way. You got two hoses, you got two clamps holding this hose on. One here, going to this check valve right here. Release those tabs, and you're gonna get this whole entire intake horn. All right. Make sure there's no sensors or anything connected, and go ahead and set this to the side. We're not going to be reusing this air filter, so you can discard this at the time. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. This probably did not assist, this aided and abetted in the engine failure. Okay, there's a grommet holding the air filter housing in place. Now would be a good time to get this cleaned out as well. All right, you don't want to get any of that stuff going into the new engine. All right, get it on out of there. Go 72,000 miles. Shouldn't be going through this. Key got some stuff to answer to. So engine. So I'm going to say take it out because we want to see everything. We want to get a good visual on what we can't see, and also make sure that we're not leaving anything connected. We do have a guide, but hey, the guide is just a guide, and we're here. So far, we're doing everything so clean. We get messy here in a little bit. That's something I forgot. No, I think I drank the coolant. I didn't drink the coolant. That may be so. I reminded myself quickly. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'm gonna put these back in place right here. No need to put those over the shop or anything like that. Put these right here. Okay, basically, let me show you. So basically, this whole harness is coming apart piece by piece. You're going to disconnect it here. You're going to remove these here. These things is tight, man. This is tight. I mean, it manipulates the whole tool. There we go. This is actually a Laos too. I thought Laos tools were pretty good. Let me see. Maybe I'm focusing too much on this camera. Hey, the cameraman. This shit pop right on out here. Let me see. Show you. I should have used the other side. Let's see. All right. Cool. Okay, we got this clear. those transaxle lines. Just ground here. Take that out. All right. Put this camera down and get the. Okay, on these ignition coils, hit the release tab up and then squeeze and gently remove. This one may have not released. You most of the time get an audible feedback when you release these tabs. Okay, you're gonna disconnect the upper radiator hose and the lower radiator hose. Transmission lines, transmission shift cable, ground on the transmission. You're gonna disconnect all sensors off the engine, pull them to the side. Don't forget about the coolant hose that's running to the heater core, coming out of the back of the block. All that's gonna come off, ladies and gentlemen. All right, might as well take everything off, basically from the engine. And whatever's on the body, let it stay on the vehicle. It'll be the best approach. Alright. It's gonna be really hard to give y'all a view of everything that I'm doing here. So try to narrate it as best as possible. Recover the refrigerant on the air conditioning. You could just set the compressor to the side, but it's gonna be best to recover it because you're gonna have to recover it and evacuate it and recharge it at the end anyway. Make sure that the air conditioner is operating correctly so you won't have any complaints from the customer, or at least, you know, verify the condition of the air conditioner after evacuation and recharge. Keep in mind, you're not doing a full diagnostics on the vehicle, but you do want to determine what caused this engine to fail. Kia and Hyundai have some engine faults from the engineering factory end, but you still want to see if there's, make sure there's no pre-existing conditions on the vehicle that could be addressed while you are doing the job that you're not releasing back to the customer. Okay, standing in front of the Kia, looking down in the engine bay, you're going to remove the shift linkage, which is here, 12mm bolt. Excuse me, 12mm nut. With the ground going to the transmission housing, to the body. Best just to go ahead and take this whole bracket off right here. Those brackets out the way. Now, at first, the guy says the wire harness comes down with the engine. However, for some odd reason, this wire harness here is completely connected with the same harness that's running to the body of the vehicle. Unless it's something that I'm not seeing, it looks like you're gonna have to take the wire harness off and leave it on the vehicle, because I'm not seeing anywhere where I'm able to disconnect the harness from this body of the vehicle. If there's a connection that's hidden somewhere, it's gonna make sense to take the sensors off and leave the sensors connected to It's gonna make sense to leave the sensors on the engine and leave the wire harness on the body of the vehicle. All right, let me see. Let me make sense of what I'm saying. All right. ECM, wiring harness, engine and transmission. The guy is saying drop the engine and transmission with the ECM and wiring harness. But the wiring harness has the looms that runs to the body interior and to the engine and transmission. Those wires are all entwined to one another. Here. This is some trick that I'm not familiar with, or some knowledge that I don't possess at the current moment in time. It's looking like it's going to have to stay on the body.